Alright, so welcome to Margrave, the town that I told you we were going to head to. Along the way, we found a body of a pilgrim with a little note that gave us the indication that he was on his way to some holy place in the mountains. He didn't get very far, and someone should know about his fate. So we're going to let this priest over here know about him.
Enough is enough. Parathin's soul is marred by sin.
No, he wouldn't go that far.
You know what must be done, Lacthan. If you do not do it, we will. Do you have the will to see it through?
Do not question my faith. I will fix this.
What's happening here?
Those were local hunters. They went with my brother Perithan to guide some merchants through the mountain pass, but were attacked by bandits. The hunters think Perithan set them up. That cannot be right. He is not very devout, but he wouldn't do something like that. I want to look for him, but the woods are dangerous. Could I perhaps hire you as a bodyguard?
Yes.
Thank you. Before we leave, we should ask around town. Maybe he came back on his own.
Yeah, before we do that... Excuse me. You're injured. Do you need help?
You're kind, but it's nothing that won't heal. I was a fool for trying to get into the old Lights Watch outpost. The place is overrun with fiends. I only wanted to... I believe my mother, Soliana, was stationed there. However, the church keeps everything but its records in the light. There must be something left behind at the outpost by Knights Penitent.
Don't worry. I'll look into it.
What do you know about Light's Watch?
Only that it was once a bastion of the Knights Penitent, the holy order of cathedral knights who patrolled the roads, delivering the light's justice to evil. That is, until they marched away.
So this is another quest for us to go into a dungeon. So we'll probably be doing a couple of dungeons in this part. I'm looking for Parathin.
Why? To finally arrest the menace? He went out with those heathen merchants a while back. I haven't seen him since.
Crowned by the cathedral cross, the great pyre stands as tall as any roof in town. Charred corpses of the condemned remain lashed to the timbers, a clear warning for all who enter Margrave. Yep. They're big on burning people at the pyre here in this part of Sanctuary. You will burn at the stake. And they're not witches. They're not going around saying, "We found a witch, may we burn her?" The cathedral supports these burnings?
We are far from Kiovoshad, friend. Beyond their notice. Or care. But the Father sees our light burn from high atop his glacier. He knows that Margrave will suffer no evil.
And Arius does not care. These people were they all deserving?
Many were bandits, murderers. Others, dear friends, good, light-tending folk, until they embraced evil. We must not share the fate of Nevesk. Examples must be made.
Yeah, let's just say this game made me care about the people of Sanctuary a lot less, seeing that they are more than willing to do stuff like this. And they're just like, yes! They really are like those folks who are like, oh, can we please burn her?
I see. So our young brother failed in his pilgrimage to the monastery. A shame. But no worse than any of us have earned, is it? Death of fang and claw, of freezing, of the pyre. Our sinful bodies deserve no better.
Have you seen Parathin?
No, no. Perithan does his very best to avoid me, I'm afraid. I should hope he's somewhere praying for his own salvation. We gave up long ago.
It seems Margrave is beset by evil on all sides.
Yes, darkness is all around us, threatening to close in at any moment. It is our struggle to keep it at bay, if only just barely. Back when the Knights Penitent still patrolled these woods, they would construct great sanctified braziers to ward off evil. There is one not far from here. If you wish to help us push back the darkness, you could light it.
Uh-huh.
How many times have I said, do not leave these walls? I promised your parents I would care for you.
That troublemaker? No. But let me know if you find him. I have some questions.
Light. I was hoping. The merchants were ambushed at a camp just before the pass. We should search there.
Did you walk here too? I will pray for our feet. This pilgrimage has not been kind to them.
I did the first time that I came here. Now I have a horse. Here's the brazier. May as well. By the way, what I was referring to when I was talking about like how a werebear does more poison damage, I was right. It was an aspect. No, it's not those. No, it's not those either. Did I not equip it? I don't think I did. Alright, hold on. Because I can show this now. Which one is it? I think it's offensive? Ah, yep, here it is. Aspect of the Changeling's Dead. You deal 25% up to 55% increased damage while hitting a poisoned enemy as a werebear, or a crowd-controlled enemy as a werewolf. So that can work either way. So that's why the idea of, like, having the creeper while also hitting them as a werebear is actually a good idea. But apparently I didn't equip that as an aspect, but then again, that's also because I don't have enough items to be able to have every aspect equipped that I want for whatever I'm going for. Gotta get some more items before I can do that. Some more yellows that could turn into legendaries. Also, look at that long duration for Earthen Bulwark. Man, that's really nice, especially if we get into high endgame boss battles, you know? Alright, the brazier was lit.
So you have. I can smell it from here. I wish I could have seen the flames dance. The light shines through you, Wanderer.
I don't like this guy. There's another reason for that, but you'll see why later. Alright, let's help this guy find his brother.
I knew he was desperate, but... Light. This is horrible. Do you see any clues?
Fatal wound appears to have been an arrow in the neck, the handiwork of the hunters from Margrave, no doubt. Thick scars crisscross the skin of the forearm in peculiar patterns, as if drawn intentionally. One of the merchants who was with Perithan, anything of value has been stripped from the body. The merchant's goods have been broken open and thoroughly ransacked.
I didn't want to believe it, but I've seen those scars before, on unsavory types who sometimes met with Perithan. It seems he's truly fallen in with them. I have to find him. I have to bring my brother to justice. He's gone too far this time. He has strayed so far from the light.
I like to imagine that they see me and they're like, alright, I got him. Then I become a werebear and they're like, oh gosh! That's another one of my favorite legendary aspects.
This must be it. Let's go.
Pulverize does this. Yep. Big shockwave. Another is that it turns it into an earth skill and it'll have like tectonic spikes continuously doing damage for another couple seconds.
I can overlook my brother's foul deeds no longer. Light, grant me the strength to bring your justice upon my own blood.
Huh, he actually knocked me down. That's impressive.
I'm out of spirit.
Level 10. I have a playstyle that has a tendency to use up my resource quite often. So if you're wondering about those guys with the symbols, like that one with the heart, I believe that one means that he had extra life on him. Am I missing something? Did I already grab the key and didn't even realize it? Oh my gosh, I had to interact with the door first. Come on, game.
Perithan! Perithan, damn it! Where are you?
Oh, hello. Those are always annoying. When they stand right there and it silences you and you're just like, oh, come on, get out of there. But that's one of the reasons why you get something that gives you unstoppable.
I must wait a minute.
Let's just say I don't like getting silenced. Your brother's been through a lot to find you.
What have you done? How could you have fallen so far? Margrave demands justice, brother. I need justice.
They told me it would be clean. Lift a few purses and send them on their way. Nobody was supposed to get hurt. I didn't kill anyone. I ran, and they punished me for it. You must believe me.
You'll never convince the others. We can't return to Margrave. Can you walk?
Look then.
These are old smuggler tunnels, right? We'll follow them south, somewhere no one knows us. Start over. Thank you for your help. He's an idiot, but he's blood. I can't just... Can I trust you not to tell anyone where we've gone?
I understand.
Probably as good of an outcome as they could get, because I certainly would not want those guys to go back, considering what they do. They go back, they're getting burned at the stake. Burn them! Yeah, burn them! I'm joking, but really, that's the... Aren't you getting that vibe from these people? That they're probably a little too eager to burn people at the stake? As if they are... witches! Huh. Same item power, same armor. That's funny. Alright. We'll place a couple of pieces.
Alright, traveler.
Let's see. That's a werewolf one. There we go. During the brief times I get Fortify. So here's the one I was talking about right here. I could either get that, or I could get Increase the Duration of Grizzly Rage, which I don't have yet. Then there's also this one. Pulverize is now also an Earth skill, and after you cast it, Tectonic Spikes continue to do damage. And Earth skills deal even more critical strike damage to crowd-controlled enemies. Poison Creepers activate, also casts a landslide in a circle around you. And Earth skills deal you more damage to poisoned enemies. You see how a lot of these can work together? And there's some other cool ones here for Werewolf, like Blood Howl and Shred. Yeah, I'm going to go with this one. Alright.
Fare thee well. What will it be? Came apart nicely.
Let's see. We'll temper this one. More thorns? Sure, I'll take it. Damage to crowd-controlled enemies? Nice. I'll take that too. Ooh.
Anything
Cooldown reduction for my evade. Very nice. Evade is this. Sometimes you can get pieces where it'll give you a couple extra charges. I'd like to increase the potency of my healing potion.
Well, you certainly have the look of someone who spends a lot of time in the wilds. I expect you'll also want some of my elixirs. But let's focus on your healing potion for now. I have some extra materials we can use this time. If you want to improve your healing potion further, or craft any elixirs, you'll need to source your own ingredients. I'll not leave these walls. Never again.
Oh, don't worry. I've got plenty to work with. There we go. And she does not have any elixirs at the moment. And some of them are literally locked off from levels, as you'll see there. Oh my gosh, I can make a lot. Just to give her a bit of a head start here. Especially since we're about to go into a couple of dungeons. So what do you guys say? Alright, let's do this one first. And then we'll go to the other one. Because I want to show you what happens after we do that second one. Now, this dungeon we're about to do, I remember this was a dungeon I did back in the beta, and I was testing out a sorcerer back then. Let's just say this dungeon was a bit of a oh for me when it came to, by the way, there are the tectonic spikes right there. When it came to how early on, if you're not ready, these dungeons can... Ooh. They can really do a number on you. More healing from all sources as a werebear. And when you remain in werebear form for less 24 seconds, your next non-defensive skill will overpower. Now, that's not a big deal now. But if you get the unique that lets you stay in bear form permanently, that can be very nice. Just because I wanted to show it off. So yeah, I was first trying out this dungeon in the beta as a sorcerer, and whoo, man, talk about a stressful experience. Like, it's one thing to come into a place like this and you're like playing a tanky class like a werebear. It's another when you're playing a super squishy class like a sorcerer and you're like, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh.
I need more spirit. I must wait a moment.
Now, I will say this is a little cathartic for me. Going in here and just annihilating these guys, like, with almost one shot. Like, I know this is not a great showcase in terms of, like, some people who are, like, hoping to see, like, I don't know, like, interesting, difficult gameplay, but keep in mind, I am doing this on the highest difficulty available to me on this character. I just have taken precautions early on to actually make it where all my characters on my account are a little stronger than normal. And I have the advantage of having attached some legendary aspects, which does buff my character a decent amount. So this won't be a reflective experience for you when you just start out. This is just for me to have the experience go a little smoother to showcase it to you in a video on YouTube, because I'm of the opinion that if I was to struggle a lot, it wouldn't be extremely entertaining to watch, because I would be trying to progress, and if I'm halted in my progress, to me that just makes things a little bit more irritating for me, and it's not going to reflect great in the quality. And that has been the case before in the past with other games. Those of you who have seen my A through Z playthrough of Here's the Storm probably know about some of my struggles that actually caused me to get very
Is it true what they say? An angel walks among men? Oh. The knights marched to Cor Valar. If I were 2 years older, I'd have passed my trials and I'd be marching with them. Instead, I stay. A skeleton crew will guard the fort until the knights can return. You'd be proud. No more polishing shields for me. They gave me a sword, though I doubt you will ever see battle. I'll write soon. Edmund.
Yeah, that's what he thought. Snippy is what I was going to say. This was especially evident in my ETC video I did, where I basically ranted and just got because I was so irritated having to redo the video over and over, because every time I tried, it was a disaster. And I didn't want it to be like that. And that's usually why I've, now going forward, I've taken the approach of, I want to make these experiences not be a hassle for me, because if they are, I'm not going to have very fun making these, and therefore it's going to show in the video, and I don't want that to be the case. And I know some people do enjoy watching that, but not really me. I like how this has already put a couple of points into Pulverize because of that aspect I have. Let's see. Rock shrapnel flies outward when the bulwark is destroyed or expires, dealing damage to surrounding enemies. The damage is increased by the barrier bonus. Let's do that. That sounds fun. When it expires or is destroyed, it does extra damage. I could always change that when I get to higher endgame, levels of endgame. And it's like, oh gosh, I need it to give me more fortify or more health. There's definitely a number of things to really help work on that. Hey, I got a challenge done. 50 enemies with overpowered strikes while in bear form. Bare knuckle brawl. And I got a new title from that, though honestly the title thing is really not a big deal for me. Because again, it's like, I get what they're doing trying to make this an MMO, but it's just like, I don't really... There are times where it's like a welcome little feature, don't get me wrong, but it's not something that I have a big desire for. Maybe it's also because there's not many people I actually play this game with, personally. So even though the co-op experience is great for Diablo, it's not something I personally do all that much because I don't really have that many other people to actually play with. A lot of my guild are not really playing this game anymore. They tried it out first, but they kind of moved on. So I'm also playing this during a time when my guild is doing other stuff, like the Pandaria remix, which I'm actually not really participating in. So
we received the order. Our company has been called away on a mission for the light. I know that, like the others who have been called to serve, we will not return. We have already given everything to the church. Must we give up our lives as well?
Yeah, they probably do. Want you to do that. Because they're true believers. And as we saw in Captain America Winter Soldier, true believers can be dangerous.
Spirit.
Oh, wow. That gave me some more sigils. I see those drop all the time on my barbarian, but not on an early character like my druid here. Oh, hey, a shrine.
Our new recruits are proving themselves strong. I've grown fond of one. Knight Soliana Costa. Her devotion to the faith could cast even the darkest shadow of doubt from anyone's mind. It's easy to talk to her about those I left for the calling of the light. She had to leave her family too. A son.
I can't tell you how much I want the unique that lets me stay in werebear form permanently.
We got separated. My friends were cut down. I won't last on my own. Is there no end?
I need more spirit.
I've already done the mastery. I'm sure that this character will get humbled when I get her to higher levels, but right now, I'll enjoy this while I can.
Thank you, Wanderer. Without you, I'd be dead. Think I can manage from here? Please, take this.
By the way, if you don't pull off the mastery there, she does die. Just point it out. Alright. Huh. Oh, the next rank has a reduced cooldown. Okay. Even more damage with Pulverize. More damage reduction. All these werewolves, and I'm just like, yeah, werebear.
I'm not ready yet.
Yep, definitely was a good idea to go in here. Definitely leveling fast. And now I take 9% less damage whenever I'm in werebear form. Love getting all this tankiness, especially knowing how hard things are going to hit me later on.
Wait a moment.
I tried to convince Soliana to leave with me. I told her that her son would rather grow up with a mother, and we could start over. away from this frozen wasteland. She refused. So Liana said to run would be to abandon the light and give a better world for her son. Perhaps she's right.
I'm not ready yet.
Gosh, I'm telling you guys, the first time I came in here during the beta with my sorcerer, I was like, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. The Den Mother. Alright. And now we can go turn this in. So I found these journals.
I see. So my mother was a knight penitent. Would she have made the same choice if she saw what the world has become? Thank you for bringing this to me.
No problem. Alright. So before we go do the next dungeon, let's go pay a visit back to the blacksmith. About upgrading our gear again. I always hate having to put a blue on when it's better.
Oh, you caught a rare one. Fairly well.
Alright, so now let's head up here and do this one. And I want to do this one because I want to show you what happens afterwards. Because once we complete this quest in this dungeon, we'll get a follow-up. And it's kind of interesting. But it's also kind of an example of what we've already been seeing from the folks here. Bit of a showcase, you could call it. But I'll tell you what, guys. Doing this the first time without any horses, you had to basically fight everything. I was about to laugh if I got yet another upgrade, but then again, that's kind of how this feels early on, doesn't it? You're almost constantly changing your gear because you're almost constantly finding something that's better. So we're about to reach level 15, which means we will get access to our class quest. However, the Druid one is rather unique in terms of what they need to do to actually do it. Because in this game, there are certain things that are closed off to you until you help take that territory back. What I mean by that is that there are dungeons in certain places that you cannot go into until you help take territory back from a bad faction. Also, you'll notice something else new just dropped.
Not ready yet. I need more spirit.
So, Druids, spirits of the Lost Grove. Speak with Druid our death in Tol Dulra, but Stronghold must be conquered first. So, the Druid quest is way up here in this area, which is a stronghold. Strongholds are places that you can take back from a bad faction for a good faction. And it can become a new area, a new hub for you with a fast travel point, merchants. You take it back from them. And in the case of this place, it's Tur Dulra. Once the greatest druidic college, this overgrown ruin now stands as a reminder of a great calamity. We will be able to go there and take it back for the druids, and then we will get access to them. So, you'll also notice that what I picked up earlier was something called a druidic spirit offering. Bring spirit offerings to the 4 druid spirits until Tur Dulra to garner favor and receive powerful boons in return. That is now up here, spirit boons. So you'll see here that to unlock, we have to complete that quest, and once we do, we will get access to this. I'll talk more about this when we get in the next part when we actually go to do this quest. But yeah, the druids have to conquer a stronghold to access this, whereas other classes don't really have to do that, but they do have to do a quest. And now we get our ultimate. So this is now we get to the ultimate area of the skill tree. And for the druids, if they want to go earth, they go petrify, which encases all nearby enemies in stone, stunning them, and you deal increased critical strike damage to enemies that are affected by it. Storm druids get cataclysm, lol. A massive storm follows you for 8 seconds, with twisters and such. The werewolf gets lacerate. They become immune and they quickly dash 10 times routine enemies in an area, dealing up to a certain amount of damage. It's a little flashy. Nothing too amazing. What the bear druids get are Grizzly Rage. Shapeshift into a dire werebear for 10 seconds, gaining 20% bonus damage and 20% damage reduction. Damage bonus is increased by 3% each second while you are in this form. And kills will extend the duration by 1 second, up to 5 additional seconds, and there are ways to make this even better. So, let's say goodbye to the Creeper. So there is another aspect that can make this even better. If I recall, I think it's a offensive one? Yep. The Rampaging Werebeast. Grizzly Rage's duration is increased by 3 seconds, and Grizzly Rage can grant up to 200% critical strike damage. Notice it can either be 3 seconds or 8 seconds. You can upgrade these aspects. This is something that I really like that they have done with the aspect system. If you find another one of the same aspect you either have already collected or such, and you salvage it, it upgrades it. It makes the stats even better when you apply it to a piece of gear. So the more I find this and have it upgraded, it'll increase that. Which is a really cool idea and concept with the aspects. I really like it. The idea that even if you find multiple of these out in the world and you salvage them, at least you're making them useful.
I'm low on spirit.
By the way, now that we've hit level 15 and have gotten access to this quest, now they can all drop those offerings. So here's my ult. Grizzly Dire Werebear! Roar! Not super flashy, but hey, it definitely gets the job done if you're going to be facing a boss. 20% more damage and 20% less damage taken? Yeah, that sounds pretty great. Just saying. Now, of course, that's not a big deal here in the early game when I'm basically just wiping the floor with these guys, and especially on tier 2. But as we progress and go against higher leveled enemies, as well as once I progress into the end game, it's gonna matter. And this is why it's like I was trying to get as many of the shrines as I could, because what I was trying to really do, I wasn't trying to really buff this druid. What I was really trying to do was get my barbarian stronger, because my barbarian was the one that I was trying to unlock a lot of the endgame stuff with. There's more of the spirit offerings. So what I was realizing, oh wait, if I get more of these shrines, I'm not only getting my other character stronger, but so I'm also getting my barbarian stronger. Which, if I'm going to be attempting to push into tier 4, which is Torment, yeah, the more of these I have, the stronger I'll be and the better off I'll be to actually survive a lot of that stuff. So even though it's great that it's affecting my other characters like my druid here, if you're wanting to really push high-level content with your main, it's absolutely worth doing, because every shrine giving you a bit more of an extra stat bonus to something is going to pay off. By the way, it's also really nice to be able to get these offerings this early on, because you're going to need quite a bit of them if you want to take full advantage of what it offers you. And I'll show that when we do the quest in the next part. Because I already tested, I don't have to have finished Act 1 or done a portion of Act 2 to actually do it. You can just go straight to the stronghold and try to do it.
I'm low on spirit.
So keep that in mind. So I will absolutely be able to just go straight to that stronghold and access the quest once we have finished this up here. Which will pay off when we start doing some of the stuff in the axe and actually start trying to encounter stronger, tougher enemies. But as you can see, I'm also getting to get quite a bit of XP doing these. And level up pretty fast. Alright, so now Grizzly Rage makes you unstoppable for 6 seconds. Yet another way for our druid, our werebear, to become unstoppable and not be crowd controlled. Which, trust me, is going to pay off later when you start going into higher level content, because of the amount of times you can get stunned or get hit by something that either silences you or just makes it where you can't do anything. Having something to break you out of being stunned is so invaluable. It's one of the reasons why I've been using a certain shout on my barbarian, just to be able to have that ability to not be stunned or crowd controlled. Trying to remember. Oh, never mind. It's already open. I thought I had to get hit by one of those for a lever to pop up, because I remember that being a case in the dungeon where you had to get hit by it to get the lever to come up. I guess that wasn't the case here.
I'm not ready yet.
Man, I so wish my druid could do this in WoW. Just that, like, that big shockwave. Oh, gosh. I would main a bear druid so much if they allowed my druid to do stuff like this in WoW. Oh my gosh, I would love it.
I do not have enough spirit.
See, that stun? Yeah. I don't like getting stunned. An artillery shrine, okay.
I need time to do that.
Hello, Toon Lord. Okay. Now that we found the child's call, let's go talk to that priest. Also, once we get to certain levels, other certain side quests will become open.
Ah, yes. This is the blanket that warmed Prava in her sickbed. It is smaller than I imagined. Maybe you are the fool who teaches the priest true faith. Join me in the Elysium archives. There I will drive this demon from your body.
Mm-hmm. Sure you will. Now wait till you see what happens here.
Knights wait for me ahead, called here for my protection. Many may have forgotten old Voshalko, but some still hold true. I will now don the child's call, as our mother Prava did before she was born anew. Blessed by the angel Inarius, no evil will harm me. My works are his works, my wishes his wishes. You who are riddled with sin, shed your blood into this sacred cup.
Take note of the soldiers.
Good. Now, approach. Stand within this circle of chalk, and make no attempt to leave, or your damnation be certain. Inarius, whose wings brought light to this world. Act through me now. Purge the filth within this blood. Cast out her corruption. Burn her from... What is this? No, no, this is wrong. Light! No! No, no, stop! Stop!
Do you see what happened in here? Shorn limbs, twisted metal, acrid smoke rising from the corpse. Did you do this? What happened? Are you hurt?
The exorcism, I did everything right. As I have done so many times before, but you... Begone. Begone! The angel Inarius, he casts you out. Cast you out. Leave. Leave! Please. Please.
Yeah. Well, we do get a couple of elixirs for that, and I actually forgot to take... I did those dungeons without taking these. I'm an idiot, because I meant to take that before we did those dungeons. And I totally forgot. My bad. So, yeah. That's what happens. So, don't mind the mess downstairs. Reverend Mother, sorry. I toss her a coin. Sorry about the mess. I like how the interface here changes, the bar changes, when I get my horse. So here's one of the recipes that you can get to be able to get the recipes for these temperings. That's basically how it works. So then you can go ahead and temper something. And yeah, that's it. Alright. So I'm going to do a bit with my gear. Update it, obviously. And when we do, I'm going to head up here. Way up here. And we're going to take back this stronghold. Which is always going to be a little higher level than I am. That's why you can see it's level 19. So that way we can do our Druid class quest and get access to the boon offerings. Stay tuned!